today to have this particular person on my on my podcast today. Hold on. I'll just edit that because I didn't know if I wanted to say speaker, person, interviewer. I'll
Well,
edit.
the technical term for it would be
No,
speaker.
I know who you are. I didn't want to give like your title necessarily.
Okay.
I have a way I introduce it. Okay. All right.
You know better than I.
It is my pleasure today to have this incredible man on my show today. He is changing the game when it comes to public professional speaking, when it comes to speaking his voice, sharing his truth and his message, just not in the United States, but across the globe. And that is none other than Lawrence Harris. Welcome to the Power Transformation Podcast, Lawrence. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you. It is fantastic to be here.
Wonderful. And I'm telling you, it's certainly an honor. I really respect the way that you informed me about who you are and to know that you're making such a profound difference in the lives of so many at a young age. And yes, I could have said, yeah, he's this and that, but I'm going to have you to tell us more because there's such a story behind who you are and what you do and who you serve. But before we jump into that, Lawrence, I always like to give my guests a platform to just share a bit more about themselves. And as we are doing this interview, it's the beginning of June. And although this will be released later on, we're almost in summer. Summer officially comes near the latter part of June. But I want to know this from you. What are some of your favorite activities, Lawrence, to do over the summer?
My favorite app, my absolute favorite thing to do throughout the summer, fishing. Believe it or not, I actually have my fishing rod right there in the corner because after this interview, I'm going fishing.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So, how long have you been fishing?
I've been fishing for 2 years, and
Oh,
there's a beautiful story behind it, really.
hmm.
So, this is going to tie into who I am, what I do. The whole shebang is about to come out right now because the man you see here today was built. This didn't happen overnight. This wasn't some
Yes.
just, this kid just woke up one day and said, you know what, I'm going to start speaking. No, this man right here used to be a 12-year-old kid
Hold
who
on.
felt,
Wait,
oh,
wait, wait, wait.
I don't want to
We
go all too fast.
No, because we are gonna get
Mm,
into that. So let's not dive into that first. I guess the whole question is when it comes to fishing, let me ask you
okay.
this, because you're in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
So do you fish at a lake, a pond? Like where do you go fishing?
Oh, we have a lake. There's a, at the bottom of my city, there's a lake, and they stock it with fish every summer.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Cause see, I grew up by the ocean. So I grew up by Virginia Beach.
Oh,
So when
yeah.
I was growing, yeah. So when I was growing up, we did pier fishing in terms of saltwater fishing. And then of course we had like estuaries and rivers and streams. But I started fishing when I was a little girl. And so that's why I'm so excited that you said fishing. And although you've been doing it a couple of years, I'm just glad that you picked up on the hobby. I really am.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the reason is so beautiful because a lot of times it's just you, this body of water, and this fishing rod, and nothing is happening.
Yeah.
And it gives you time to think. And you start thinking about yourself, you start thinking about life and all the waves and the ups and downs we go through, and
Mhm.
how we're always in a rush. It's so rare that people are ever just here. It's just me, this water, and this fishing rod, and all the thing that had to happen for this to be happening right now.
Yeah.
You need to appreciate the blessing of just this moment, and fishing helped me to do that.
Exactly. And the last question about this, just out of curiosity, since they actually stock that lake, is it the kind where if you catch it, you can keep it, or do you catch it and throw it back?
Well, they prefer you to catch it and then throw it back, but you are
Uh,
allowed to take it simply
yeah.
because people have a lot of parties down there.
Okay.
And let's say somebody decides they want to do a prank and push a porta potty into the lake.
Hmm.
You don't want to be eating the same fish out that same water.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Whereas when I went fishing growing up, of course, it was for the purpose of sport in terms of enjoying it, but also we sure enough would take those bad boys home, clean them up, eat them. So it was a lot of fun. And so keeping in alignment with this idea of fishing and what you do and who you are and how you serve, you definitely could be seen as a fisherman of sorts, is that you're going out spreading a message, spreading a word, giving people inspiration and hope. And so this begs the question, and you can answer it any way that you want to. Not exactly what do you do, but who is Lawrence Harris? Who are you?
I am who I choose to be. I'm somebody who wakes up and I'm just authentically myself. I'm somebody who is creative, somebody who does his own thing, somebody who is willing to walk the unbeaten path even when you judge me for it.
Mhm,
Because at the end of the day, I know that when you try to be what everyone else wants you to be,
mhm,
it stresses you out like crazy. I used to try that. I was trying to be a basketball player. I was trying to be a rapper. I was trying to do all these things to make everybody else happy. But then I turned inside of myself and realized, who is Lawrence? Whoever Lawrence chooses to be. That's the
mm.
best answer I can give to you because it's the truth. I am who I choose to be.
And who are you choosing to be in this moment of your life in terms of, say, in 2025?
Someone who leaves a positive impact on the world because we have so many dark messages out there. We have so many people encouraging you that, hey, let's get this fast money. Let's do something we know we shouldn't do. Let's
Mhm,
drink this. Let's smoke this. Let's do these things. But we have well, there's a lot of them. They're just not pushed. They're not promoted. No one's getting out on the streets like they used to, unless you're like a street preacher and
mhm,
giving out free resources. It's so rare. So
mhm,
I'm choosing to be somebody who gives that directly to the people. I meet you where you are because teens and young adults, especially, we need that encouragement. We need that positive
mhm.
inspiration. So I
Yeah.
meet you where you are. Where are you at? I know you're on TikTok. So you're going to see my TikToks 3 times a day.
Hmm. Exactly. And in choosing who you are, Lawrence, this didn't just happen overnight. And I'll be transparent with the audience is that when Lawrence reached out to me, you all, I prefer personally to interview people who are legal adults. I don't really care to go through all the red tape of it getting parent or guardian consent, being cautious about certain things. So I try to interview people that are 18 and up. And so Lawrence still has youth on his side. And so he looks younger, but I wanted to make sure, but he is technically a legal adult. And I don't say that in a negative way in terms of his age, because many of you who are subscribers and know my story know I had a 20-year career as a public school educator. And some of you don't know. Some of you only know me as this entrepreneur, as a speaker, podcaster, uh, transformational specialist, etc. But for 20 years, I worked with youth of all ages, particularly middle and high schoolers. And I bring that up because a lot of the students I taught in the past had a lot of challenging backgrounds and challenges, but I always told them to not let their past be a predictor of their future because you could still turn around your life. The reason I give that premise, Lawrence, is that your childhood was marked by challenges, including navigating a tumultuous time in your life in terms of your abusive environment that you had with one of your parents and in feeling a responsibility to protect your siblings. So let's go back a bit into your origin story and leading up to now. How did that early responsibility, Lawrence, of protecting your siblings shape your understanding of strength, protection, and even leadership at such a young age?
Well, some of the biggest ways that impacted me, because I want the listeners to just picture this.
Hmm.
Imagine you're 12 years old and you've got all these hopes and dreams and all these things you want to do with yourself. But you're sitting on this black couch, and one moment you're working on a school project on your phone. The next moment, your dad gets mad that your mom's calling you, so he blacked your eye. And this
Mm,
isn't to, talk down on him. This is what happened. And then you're thrust into this position of feeling as if you have to protect your younger siblings by any means. And you're scared very much. I was afraid. I was worried constantly, but I had to put all my feelings and emotions on the back burner. And I tell people strength isn't how you act when you're not afraid. Strength is how you act when you're scared for your life, but you refuse to give up. And when you're trying to be that leadership role, you're trying to keep your siblings safe, you're trying to show
mhm,
them it's possible for us to get through this. You have to be able to walk into the heat of battle on the front lines and know we're making it through this somehow. I didn't know how I'd do it. I didn't know how long it would take. I didn't know how hard it would turn out to be, but I knew we'd get through this.
mhm,
And that not only shaped me back then, but to this day, because when I meet young people and they're telling me about their obstacles and things they face, I see
mhm.
myself in them. I
Yeah.
see my little sister in them. I see
Mhm,
my little brother in them. And I do this. I go up and I speak and I motivate people, not because it just makes me feel good. I do this because I know somewhere in that crowd, somewhere on that podcast,
yeah.
somewhere on that YouTube video is a little kid who's thinking about ending their life
Mhm,
because I would want that little kid. So I'm so passionate about this because
mhm,
I know leadership isn't just this title, it isn't just your term for your business or your position in life. Leadership is a mission bigger than you. When I was 12, that mission was my sibling safety. Now, that mission is the betterment of teens and young adults throughout the world.
exactly. And when you were doing that, navigating life the best way that you could, and even protecting your siblings, something happened when you were 13 that actually gave you a bit of relief in a sense, in that your father disowned you. And although that happened, and despite the relationship, just as a human being, there may have been moments of pain even involved in that. So how, Lawrence, did you initially cope with that rejection, and what eventually helped you move from feelings of abandonment to empowerment?
Well, the way I first began coping with it was very unhealthy. I
Mm,
was trying to run from my problems by any means,
how
right?
so?
So, a great example of this is I would play a lot of really loud music to try and drown out my own thoughts.
Oh,
Because when it would get quiet, that voice would get real loud.
hmm,
And all the things that I was running from, this fear that no one's ever going to love me because your dad didn't, this fear that your whole family is going to wake up one day and decide, hey, we're sick and tired of Lawrence. Let's just kick him out because your dad did.
hmm,
Those feelings that you're just worthless and no good because that's what your dad showed you. I was trying to drown it out that way. And then you have other things like overeating, oversleeping. I was all around going through it.
Yeah.
But with time and, therapy and journaling and beginning to self-reflect on what I was doing to not only myself, but to
Mhm.
those around me, because trust me, Lawrence back then was very hard to deal with because I couldn't even deal with myself.
Mhm.
So as time went on and I found healthier ways of coping with it, going to the gym. I genuinely believe that my gym membership has been one of the best decisions I've ever made. Because, especially for young men, when we have all this anger and this frustration pent up and we don't know how to let it out, we don't
Yeah.
know how to talk about it. We're encouraged not to talk about it. People are like, oh, you just being soft. Oh, you overreacting until he goes and does something extreme.
Mhm.
So going to the gym allowed me to take all this anger and this frustration I had inside myself and put it into something constructive. Pick up them weights instead of picking up a rope or picking up a gun or doing something to hurt somebody or hurt myself.
That's right. Yeah.
So that is one of the best coping mechanisms I found when I was around that age. All the stuff
And
I do now is a bit more advanced.
yeah, and we'll talk about that, but it makes me curious in something that the listeners or the viewers could be thinking is when we talk about this initial abusive relationship with your father, you cleared up a misconception from me where a person could say, okay, where was your mother in all of this? How did your mom support you? Did teachers know what was going on? What
Mm,
caused you not to speak up? What happened where you stayed silent? How would you respond to people who are wondering, okay, if you're going through all of this abuse, what inside of you stopped you from telling somebody what was happening? How would you respond to that?
so let's go in order of those. So
Yep.
regarding where my mom was in all this, my mom and dad are separate houses,
Mm-hmm.
but share custody. And with the legal system and the court system, they like to drag their feet with things like this
Mm-hmm.
because, from their perspective, they just want to make absolutely sure that it isn't a vindictive mother situation. They want to be absolutely
Exactly.
sure of it.
Exactly.
But then I started getting like photographic video evidence of everything. And then I handed that to them and said, I'm not lying about none of this. Do something.
Mm-hmm.
Then my therapist, I had them write letters saying, Lawrence is not lying about this. Y'all should do something. As far as my teachers went, I never spoke up to any of them because that fear kind of keeps you silent in a way. It's like it paralyzes you because as a child, you want to see your parents as good people.
Mm.
You want to think, oh no, he was just having a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
You start to minimize it. And when you start to minimize the way people treat you, you will also minimize your own voice.
Yeah.
You'll minimize getting the help you need. You'll minimize telling somebody. And when I would tell people, like, had a police report made, the hospital, like, they had to examine my face because I had a little black eye and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I'm telling you guys about this. You guys know about this, but it's taking so long. Because again, the legal system, they want to be like absolutely sure before they do anything that this is in fact real.
Yeah, and
So
that goes to show you how broken the system is. And I'm glad you
yeah,
answered it like that because sometimes on television or movies can portray it one day like, oh, all you have to do is call social
yeah,
services and then all of
um,
your problems are solved. And it doesn't necessarily always work that way.
yeah. And one thing I do want to also clear up too that the audience might be thinking is no, I was not trying to press criminal charges against them. I was just trying to get me and my siblings out of there. That
Mm-hmm.
was my intention there.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back on it now, obviously years and years later, through a whole bunch of therapy, journaling, meditation, and whatnot, removing him from my life, I don't even hold anger toward him anymore. It's kind of strange because with developing myself and understanding myself more, I realized that people might not always give you a reason for what they did. Because I asked before many times, I asked him, why do you do this? He never gave me an answer.
Mm,
And you never know what they went through. You never know what somebody else is going through. All
mm.
you can really do is pray for them.
Yeah.
Because the last thing I ever said to him was a few days before my high school graduation, he randomly texted me out the blue. And he was trying to say, like, you don't know what you're talking about and all this other stuff. And I just said, well, I said something along the lines of, I don't hold anger towards you as a person, but I do not appreciate how you treated me. And for
Mhm,
that reason, I never want you to speak to me. And I genuinely do wish you the best in life. Like,
mhm.
I genuinely wanted him to have the best in life because we, and this is on a completely different point though, but we often walk around holding all this anger and this frustration against people because I
Yeah.
used to hold so much anger against them, like so much. But once I began to free myself from that and understand at the end of the day, it's not what we went through that defines us, it's what we choose to do and choose to be.
Mhm.
Once I realized, wait, I can be defined by what I choose to be. Let me just not be defined by that. Obviously, easier said than done. And instead be defined by who I choose to become. And who I choose to become is a positive influence. We
And
could
see,
all,
yeah, and just really quickly, I can hear just by how you speak that a lot of those insights came from you having therapy. I'm glad that you took
oh
advantage of
yeah,
therapy at 15. And at that
yeah, my
age,
mom
you
got me in there.
act, see, thank God for that. You know, mom knew that's what you needed, and you were actively pursuing therapy and exploring those deep, higher level questions about your life and your purpose. And so, out of that, you've been dropping nuggets, but what is one pivotal insight or breakthrough, Lawrence, from those therapy sessions that really began your journey toward true healing and self discovery?
One of the best things.
Hmm.
So, firstly, I want to say that throughout my life, I've had two therapists. I don't go to therapy anymore. I
Hmm.
initially began therapy when I was 12, but 15 is when like I really got heavy on it, where I
Yeah.
really like opened myself up and started the heavy work. My therapist, her name was Sophia Malkovich. And
Hmm.
I say that because I really appreciate what she did for me. She
That's kind.
asked me like, okay, well, Lawrence, what's the stuff that you just keep fighting against? And I started pouring it all out, laying it all out there.
Hmm.
And she just kindly said to me, okay, now, other than your dad doing this, what evidence do you have that this is real? Like that this situation will happen? And it made me have this insight of, I have no evidence of this. And we began unpacking, well, now you know what the thought is. Do you have evidence for it? Is this even rational? And what's the chance of this actually happening? Very little. It's called a dialectical behavioral therapy. It helps you to identify your thoughts and have this internal dialogue with yourself about, does this fear even make sense? And every time this thing comes up, you realize it doesn't really make that much sense. And you learn how to free yourself from it. So,
Hmm.
one of the best gems I can give you, plain and clearly, is whenever you feel like you have this reoccurring fear, this reoccurring what if, this reoccurring what if my partner cheats on me? What if I go homeless? What if this happens? Think to yourself, where did this come from? It's probably something that happened in your childhood. Maybe you saw something growing up. Maybe somebody did something to you. Maybe you got cheated on. And unconsciously, you're walking through life with the weight of your past when the whole time you can free yourself from it by identifying, why do I keep doing this?
Yeah. Yeah. And when you recognize that, that can be so liberating. and
Yes,
freeing, and it can set you down a road where you just can't keep this information to yourself and you want to help
yes.
others break through as well. And so you actually started sharing your story in a lot of ways through social media. And so I'm sure that the therapy gave you the courage, but tell me, when was that moment where you said, okay, I want to share this on social media? Maybe you weren't certain where it was going to go, but what was that catalyst that made you say, I need to start sharing my story? And then what was the unexpected outcome from you being so transparent and open with your peers and your overall audience?
Well, prior to me putting all of this stuff on social media and on these podcasts, on these places where, as of now, tens of thousands of people have heard my deepest, darkest secrets and deepest traumas,
Mm-hmm.
I would usually just share things like this privately with people. Like maybe I would notice somebody in my class who I can notice like signs in them. I don't know how exactly to explain this, but I can notice they seem a little too quiet. Let me have a
Mm-hmm.
conversation with them. Let me talk to them. Let me share a bit of my life to help them open up and share their life and their pain and what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And what led me to really putting this out there, like to get raw with it. Because let me tell you, it ain't easy to hop on this camera and you pour all this out there and you don't know who's gonna see this and you don't know. But the confidence to put it the raw details out there, it came from back in November of last year, especially. I met this lady named Colleen Shell.
Mm-hmm.
She she eventually would go on to teach me the science of storytelling and how by taking our pain and taking what we've gone through and putting it out there,
Mm-hmm.
get it up and saying the raw details, you can free yourself from it more. And that was a messy process because I was writing out the graphic details of it to myself.
Yeah.
Like we're talking teardrops on the page, and I'm just letting it all out. And in doing that and looking at the stuff that I hid from myself unconsciously, it made me have an even deeper understanding that, okay, Lawrence, you're putting the motivational stuff out there, you're putting
Mm-hmm.
the inspirational stuff out there, you're putting the how to. Now you should really start putting the here's what I've been through and where I am now, because people need to know your qualifications.
Uh-huh.
It's like your pain isn't meant to hold you back. A lot of us, whether you're listening to this and maybe you're somebody who has an idea for a business or you want to go become a speaker, you want to become something to the community, your pain is your testament. Like it's the testimony. We all want the money and the money without the test. People want to hear about that test too. How did you go from homeless to multimillionaire? How did you go from child abuse to motivational speaker? How did you do it? Where did you come from? And as I started putting that out there, I've had people DM me stuff like, man, this video helped. Sorry about that. My office has automatic lights.
That's
Yeah,
okay. Go ahead.
my office
Hmm.
has automatic lights. Since
People
doing
have
that,
DM'd
one of
you to.
yeah, people have DM'd me things like, this video helped me to build my self-love and now I stopped getting in abusive relationships. This
Mhm,
video helped me to feel like I matter in the world. Or
mhm,
dang, Lawrence, I know you might never see this. By the way, if you ever DM me, I will see it. I check these.
mhm.
That this video helped them to, see a reason to keep living. And
Now,
every time you hear stuff like that, it
yeah.
keeps you going.
Now let me flip the script here. Because when you know who you are and your value, and we can still grow, whether you 75 years old, 15, or 48, it doesn't matter. What do you say to the person who may say, well, yeah, you sound good and all, but you're only 18. You haven't touched the tip of the iceberg yet when it comes to life. I hear you, but your views are limited as to how you can really inspire. What do you say to that critic?
Well, I've actually had people say stuff like that on me. One guy, he made an entire video on me. Like he made a whole video and tagged me in and everything. I didn't respond because when people come to me and they say, "Well, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know anything about life." I don't I used to get mad at it. I used to respond, well, I used to go off on it. But
Hmm.
now I just say to myself internally, I'm talking about my life, what
Yeah.
I've done, my results, my books, my videos, my speech. I know what I'm talking about because I'm the one who's talking about what I've been through.
Hmm.
But now I don't need to get mad at it anymore. Instead, when people DM me things like that, I just tell them, I will pray for you. And I
Hmm.
genuinely go and pray for that person. Because for someone to, let's say because the guy who made that video on me, he was 42. He was
Hmm.
old enough to be my dad.
Yeah.
And I understand that, everyone's allowed to have their opinion. But if you watch a video of me, like you watch my podcast, you watch it all the way through, and you still say he don't know what he's talking about, you're deaf.
Yeah. And two, it gets you to a point, Lawrence, and I told you this when we first met. It gets to a point also where I like the fact that you don't even respond to some of it because silence is golden.
Yes.
And
It's
you
not worth
don't
recognizing.
waste your breath. Yeah, you don't waste your breath. Now, if it gets to point where a person is defaming your character, that's when you contact a good attorney. But otherwise, some things are not worth you wasting your breath on because your story is yours and
Yep.
somebody out there is going to resonate from it. And you have the proof in the pudding of what you're doing, including the fact that you've published a book at a remarkably young age. And what there is one thing to speak and to share your story, but what prompted you to actually become a published author? And what is the central message or piece of wisdom that you hope that your readers, particularly of the teens and young adults, will carry with them when they're reading your work?
The central message I want you to take away is you can do it too.
Mm-hmm.
All I am, eh, I actually say this to people when they recognize me on the streets because they're like, man, I saw your video. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I tell them, all I am is a guy with an iPhone and a laptop. That's all I am. Because if I can do it, you can do it too. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
not the same way, maybe not the same thing. I'm not saying everybody should go become a public speaker. No, you have your thing. Find your thing and execute on it. Your thing might be cooking, but you try to compare yourself to me, so you're gonna become a public speaker when you were meant to be a cook.
Mm-hmm.
Do your thing. That's one of the big central messages I want people to take.
Yeah.
And in regarding me becoming a published author at 18, it really all started because I realized the reason I published a book at 18 is because that's the lowest age that Amazon will let you publish a book. That's I had the book written before that. I've had other books written when I was my first like big book I wrote was like when I was 15. Then I just kept falling in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I just dropped them all on Amazon and I kept the ones people love the most.
Mm-hmm.
So
What
that's a
kept you going in writing that book? What kept you
well,
going?
the book I'm referring to is called Power to the People. You guys can find it on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So what kept me going when writing that book was ironically enough, I began writing the book while I was working at a McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
It's so ironic. The guy working at McDonald's, dropping the fries, is writing a book on how you can improve your mental health, your psychological well-being, your finances, and your physical health. What qualifications does he have? My qualifications are that I've done it,
Hmm.
not only for myself, but other people, both at that time and especially now. Because the stuff I put in my books is what I do. If you execute it, like I put all of my secrets out there to the world, all of my
Hmm.
trade secrets, all of the tips and tricks I do, because I know most people think it's easy. It's not.
Hmm.
The hardest thing you can do is take an honest look at yourself internally, mentally, like all the fears and stuff you're running from. Look at
Yeah.
it and get real honest. And
Hmm.
only after you do that, only after you have identified, man, I'm a very prideful person. I get angry all the time. I can't control my lust. Once you get honest about that, then you're able to implement the stuff that is the positive, that warm, lovey stuff. But first, you got to get honest about the fact you need help.
That's right. That's
So
right. Yeah,
my
and
book's just all around great for you.
yes, and the fact of the matter too, Lawrence, is that when you speak, when you write, you continue to emphasize two major statements or mantras, so as to speak. One of them is love yourself for who you truly are. And then another one that you've been known to say is when life knocks you down, learn how to pick yourself back up. So, with that being said, is when you're speaking to your audiences, how do you share with them how to make these applicable in real life? So let's take, for example, when life knocks you down, learn how to pick yourself up. What's a real world example of you having to do that for yourself? And how can someone practically take that in order to apply it to their own life?
Well, one thing I would say is that when picking myself back up,
Uh-huh.
one thing that you guys, after I say this, you're gonna look back and be like, "Oh, now it makes sense why he moved like that."
Mm.
I have autism, so because
Oh,
of that,
okay.
yeah. So now you're gonna notice like every time I look up or my hand movements or how I rotate in a chair or when I touch my hair,
Mhm.
that's why I do all of that. But because of that, I had a lot of trouble with making friends and understanding social dynamics and why do people not want to hang around me or why does it feel like I just never fit in?
Mhm.
And that led to me physically getting knocked down and bullied all the time as a kid. So mentally, I had to pick myself back up and go, yeah, Lawrence, all of these people are saying that you don't matter and they're saying all these mean things about you. But you got to be there for you. You got to
Mhm.
be the one to look in that mirror and say, you know what? I might be a little weird. I might be a little goofy. I might like wearing suits and ties to high school just because I feel like it. I might be that weird guy, but I'm me. Now, another good example of this too, on a very, very simple, applicable level,
Mhm.
is you have a life obstacle. Okay, maybe your job fired you, but you're not going homeless because you're a teenager, you live with your parents, or you live with somebody who is making sure a roof stays over your head.
Yes, exactly.
Job fired you. You got fired from McDonald's because you kept showing up late. It happens. Okay, I can apply to a new one. I can pick myself back up from this setback. I lost this job. Let me apply to GameStop or PetSmart or Walmart, or let me apply
Mm.
to college, or let me apply to this thing. Yeah, I got knocked down. My pay, my bank account knocked down. But I can pick myself back up by getting a new job. I can pick
Mhm.
myself back up by getting a higher education. Or you could think of it as falling off of a bike. You fell off a bike. If you stay on the ground and you just keep rolling around and you're scraped and you're like, ah, it hurts so bad. Ah.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, it hurts. Acknowledge how you feel, understand your emotions, but understand that you don't have to stay rolling around in the dirt forever. That's I should quote that to myself.
Yeah, see? See, look, you got a aha moment right here. That's right.
Yeah.
Quote it to yourself. And That is true. And it's interesting you would bring that up to me now, because in our screening, you never mentioned the fact you were on the autism spectrum. And I have actually had other guests who have been neurodivergent as well as other aspects of it and are doing absolutely astonishing things in the world. I know I had this one guest earlier last year who's over in England, and he's doing it huge, and he uses that neurodivergence as a superpower based on him
Yes.
being on the autism spectrum. And I think even Lawrence, as you speak more, as you become more grounded in your speaking and in your messaging, that can actually be seen as a superpower and used to draw more people in. And it shows the power of resiliency. And of course, that's my whole platform is about, helping leaders master resilience and transform setbacks into unstoppable breakthroughs, because resiliency goes beyond just bouncing back. It's about catapulting to that next level in your life and how you're going to continue growing. And so, what is the one thing about continuing to go beyond each goal? Every round in your life is going higher and higher and higher. Why is it crucial today for teens and young adults, Lawrence, to believe in the power of their abilities and to execute them? What is the importance of that?
The importance of that is it's very, very simple, but it goes so deep.
Hmm.
Because if you don't, who will? If you don't, who will? If you don't believe in you, who will?
That's
If
right.
you don't love you, who will? And you're gonna have people inevitably, like maybe it could be your mom, for example.
Yeah.
No matter how much stressful stuff I put her through, somehow my mom always loved me.
Hmm.
Somehow. Even in the time when I didn't love myself, my mom was like, that's my baby boy right there.
Hmm.
So if you don't love you, you can have people around you like that, like a mom or a friend or a counselor or a brother or relationship, even where they love you, like they really love you, they care about you and everything. But because you don't love you, you don't believe that they love you. Because you don't believe in you, you don't believe that your friend actually likes your music. Because you don't believe in you don't believe that your business can be successful. And as a result of what you believe, you will somehow, some way
Hmm.
create what you do believe. So the reason why I am so good at what I do, the reason why I'm able to articulate myself so well is because I built up that belief brick by brick. This wasn't overnight. This is somebody who been through the whole spectrum of it. Somebody who grew up getting told that he couldn't fit in and nobody wants to be his friend.
Yes.
Somebody who got like the whole nine yards, basically.
And yes, and let's bring it back because you were on to something. I understand that if you don't love yourself, who will? But what is the importance? What is the significance of a young person today? Why is it crucial, almost
Especially
like a
today.
lifeline? What is the importance of that? What is the significance of it?
Okay. So the emphasis I put on self-love is it's very important how I word this. Love yourself for who you are, not what you have or what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people, if I put on this diamond chain, I put on this Rolex, oh, I love myself. I'm the big boss. I'm him. I take away that diamond chain. I take away that Rolex. Don't love yourself. You love the appearance, but not you. Because everything material, every possession, that can go away. But
Yeah.
you, as long as you got you. I can't take you away from you unless you let me.
And
And you
so
go on
with that being
TikTok.
and with that being said, let's stretch it more. You're executing your goals. You're
Yes.
doing the things, right? Why is it critical for young people, teens and young adults, to also make certain that their lives are not stagnant, but that they're also moving higher and higher? Why is that critical?
Well, naturally, as people, especially because I'm trying to put this point in such a easy and concise way for people to pick up. So this is something I think about a lot. When you're going on TikTok and you're on Instagram and you're on YouTube and all these places, you'll see people and they seem so far ahead of me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Uh-huh. That
But when
comparison trap.
you, yeah,
Uh-huh.
but when you love yourself and you have that good connection here, naturally you will start to make progress in the things that are important to you. And
Got you.
as you make progress, you'll see, man, last year I made $1,000 in my business. This year I made 5,000. Yeah, that guy he might have made $50,000 in a month, but I'm still doing great. I'm still making progress. I'm growing. I'm developing. I'm getting better. And when you fall into that comparison trap, especially, when you're in high school, comparison is everywhere. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the football team. My girlfriend looks better than yours. I got all of, I can't pronounce it right. All of modern, whatever that is. I'm the valedictorian. Everybody, it's so easy to compare.
Mhm.
And you want to grow too. You want to make progress. But when we feel stagnant, we feel stuck, we feel like we're not getting anywhere. It's so easy to think this person's way ahead of you.
Yeah.
So find something that is meaningful to you. It doesn't matter if it seems weird or different or outside the box. My
Wow.
family thought I was really weird when I decided I wanted to become a speaker in an author. They thought it was so weird. But I took action on it. And as I made progress, I stopped comparing myself to everyone else because I'm making progress. I'm moving forward. I'm growing. And I compare myself instead to who I was last year. Last year, what was the bank looking like? What did my self love look like? What did my internal look like? That's the most important. What's in here? The outside can come later. Focus on in here.
That's right. That's right. And oh my goodness, our time is starting to come to a close. I do still have a couple of more questions to ask, but I wanted to take a little pause here. And for you, if a person wants to inquire about how to book you for their school, organization, anything of that nature, and how to even support you in purchasing your books, where's the best place a person can reach you, contact you, and or follow you online?
Now, regarding professional contact, so think if you're a podcast host, you want to book me for your school, you want to book me for your
Yes.
nonprofit, church, organization, anything of that sort,
Mm-hmm.
my email, lawrence@lawrencecharris.com. That is for professional contacts. If you just want to reach out and say, hey, Lawrence, I got a quick question on this subject. Can you make a video about this? My Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube are all Lawrence C. Empowers. My website, lawrencecharris.com. I keep it very easy for people.
That's right. And I'll have it in the show notes also.
Now, as far as my books, easiest way to get them is through Amazon because I don't like having to ask people for your personal address to have to ship it to your house. That's a little uncomfortable.
Mm.
Just type that thing in Amazon, and I will send over the link for you to put in the show notes to get Power to the People. It is my best book so far.
Perfect. Perfect. And so as we start to come to a close, a couple of questions still kind of resonate in my mind, and it's about this whole concept of overcoming adversity and challenges. You speak to teens and adults nationwide when you're speaking virtually, that hits them globally, but in terms of in person, nationwide for now, and you inspire them with your story. However, from your viewpoint, what is a common misconception that you notice that teens and young adults have about overcoming adversity? And what do you do? How do you help them shift that perspective?
Well, one big misconception I often notice, and this is something that I grew up with too, you kind of get taught it, is especially in regards to men, is that, oh, you gotta tough your way through it. You just gotta rah, rah your way through it.
Mhm.
No, it's okay to ask for help. If you go watch any action movie, any come up story, they got help. Luke Skywalker, he met Yoda. Rocky, he had a trainer. Um, the Avengers, Captain America doesn't fight by himself. He has a team. So it's okay to have a team around you. But we get told that we have to just go through it ourselves.
Hmm.
And this next point apply both to men and women, especially. They both do, but I just know the first one is more common in men. Is that we feel like our problems aren't that bad. It's we start to minimize our problems because, oh yeah, I didn't grow up in Kensington. For those of you who don't know, Kensington is a part of Philadelphia. It's like the drug capital of America. It's called Zombie Land for a reason.
Hmm.
Or I didn't grow up in the middle of Iraq. I wasn't born without my legs, so my problems aren't that bad. When in reality, your problems are your problems, and if you don't deal with them, your problem will become worse. So it's okay to ask for help, and your problems are valid, your feelings are valid, even if you grew up in an environment where you were told your feelings don't matter. Even if your problem isn't as bad as child abuse, even if your problem isn't as bad as living in a war zone,
Hmm.
you matter, your problems matter, your feelings matter, and you deserve the help that you need.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. And as a wrap up, Lawrence, thinking about who you are now, the man that you currently are, and the man that you're going to continue evolving and growing and stretching and becoming. If you could distill or streamline your journey from childhood until this day into one powerful lesson for your peers and your counterparts, what would it be? And Lawrence, what is the reason that you know that your story has the power to truly transform lives?
So one big thing I would say, because on the question of distilling my journey down to
Mhm.
a big takeaway for people,
As of
your
this day, yeah.
your past doesn't have to define you. Your
Okay.
past don't have to define you.
Mm-hmm.
Because had I let my past define me, I wouldn't be here today.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part there, in terms of, can you repeat that? Because my
Sure.
mind is
Yes.
so
Yes. Uh-huh. No, no problem. I
that's a
got
that's
you.
a
I
heavy one right
got you.
there.
Yeah. I got you here. Is tell me, based on who you are this day, what is the reason? Like why do you believe? And I don't usually ask a lot of why questions, but I'm asking you why questions on purpose because of your confidence and where you are. Why questions can often sound accusatory, and I'm doing it on purpose to just pull out even more in you. But Lawrence, why do you have the audacity to think that your story has the power to truly transform lives?
Because people have reached out to me directly and said that hearing my story helped them to not kill themselves.
Take away the people. Take away the people. Take away who
Taking
you
million
are.
of people because when
Even
I
if
went,
nobody applauded you.
because I know my younger self, he would applaud me right now. Because
Yeah.
I've been journaling since I
Yeah.
was 15 years old.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
go back and see how I was thinking on this day last year, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, or 4 years ago. And
Hmm.
I know if my 12-year-old self met me today, he would think I was a superhero because I I was writing about this yesterday actually. Like I was journaling as I always do. Get yourself a
Hmm.
journal, it will change your life.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about what would my younger self be most impressed by? The thing that my 12-year-old self would be the most impressed by about me, not
Hmm.
it wouldn't be the stages, it wouldn't be the speaking, it wouldn't be the podcast, it wouldn't be the bank account, it wouldn't be all this stuff. It would be I wake up happy to be alive. That's what my younger self be the most impressed by. I
Hmm.
wake up happy to wake up. I go outside happy to go outside. Not just like, oh my gosh, everything's so wonderful. Not that kind of happy. No, it's a deep love for life in and of itself. To wake up and breathe and know that with every breath is a new opportunity and a new chance to go out there and impact somebody. That is what, that is why I know that what
Yeah,
I do matters and that I matter and that this mission matters and that all this stuff
that's
matters.
right. That's
Because my
right.
little self would be just amazed that I get out of bed happy.
Yeah, that's right. And hold on to that. Hold on to the joy, even as the days go on throughout your
Yeah.
life. Hold on to the message, expand upon it, expound upon it, grow from it, and use your story to be a light in an area where so many people need light because they have so much darkness. And I will
No.
tell you, Lawrence, that I am truly grateful for you. It has truly been an honor having you here as my guest on the Power Transformation podcast. We are definitely going to keep in touch. I can't wait to see how your journey evolves and grows, and you will be a household name and continue to hold on to that. But thank you again. It has been an honor.
Thank you. It's been an honor to be here, an honor to wake up, an honor for everything.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Power Transformation Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow or subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and write a review. It helps us inspire even more listeners. And don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who could use a little power in their transformation. Until next time, keep bouncing back, keep rising, and be good to yourself and to others.